Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. I'm Clyde Whiting, and tonight we bring you the opening rounds of Season 9 of the Racetech V8ESC Cup. And we are coming tonight live from Mosport, also known as Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. In the booth with me tonight, I have, as usual, Mr. Bill Switzer. Good evening, Bill.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome.
And I'm hoping, just turned up at the last minute, is Mr. Pete Bingham. Good evening, Pete.
Always just on time, and good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Pete. Running the cameras and all the magic that you see on your screen in the background is Mr. Sam Boozin. Good evening, Sam.
Hello, everybody.
So, Pete, we are into our 10-minute qualifying session. We're actually 3 minutes in. We'll explain more about the series as we go through the evening. But, Mosport, fantastic track, brilliant flow, and it should produce some really good racing.
Yeah, it's got a great flow to it. It's quite a tight track. Overtaking opportunities aren't numerous here. You have to put your car in such a place where your competitor doesn't want you to be, force them off their line, and in that way get the pass done. There's some brilliant bits of this track which we'll cover as we go through the night, I'm sure, and hopefully we've got a great field, and we can get on with Series 9.
Most definitely. And Bill, I know the last time we visited here for a broadcast, you was particularly, shall we say, appreciative of this track.
I certainly was. It was a barn burner, I'll tell you, between Corey Preston and Nicole Foggy. It was very exciting. Even all through the field, there's a lot of infighting here and there. And this is a very technical track, very tricky, got a lot to offer. Probably the crown jewel in Canada, no doubt about it. But it's ought to be interesting at the start of our season 9.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously we start with a 30-minute sprint race. We've got our current Season 8 champion is currently top of the pile, Nicole Foggy. And it looks like we've got a fairly decent 20-plus car grid tonight, Pete.
Yeah, a very strong field. We've had larger in the past, it has to be said. However, the quality of drivers that we've got these days is significant. So hopefully we'll be in for a treat of racing tonight.
Are you sure it wasn't one of your ex-girlfriends that said that?
Could have been. Never say no.
I'm just I've been very professional tonight, and I've got the paint packs downloaded and sorted out. Some good looking paints out there tonight. I know that's nothing really to do with the racing, but I've just seen something nearly all chrome go past my eyesight, so looks like the guys have put some effort again in this season. Ooh,
wow, that was
a weird one.
Almost like a broken suspension or something. That was crazy. That was one of the what do they call Marco Numella's team. I'm not sure who that was.
Yeah, it looks like Johnny Brandon with the all chrome car. Looks very, very nice.
Oh yeah, there he is.
There he is. So, 6 minutes into qualifying, current top 5 are Nicole Foggy, Johnny Brandon, Mike Taliancic, nice to see Mike back, Marco Namella, and Steve Lavallee. Apologies for a minute, I'm just playing with my settings.
I was expecting the word self at the end of that sentence. As you can see, folks, if you're new to our broadcasting, we like to term it as a unique style in inverted commas, don't we, Bill?
Of course. None of us have any egos or anything. It's all right.
or self-respect.
That either. Very true. Well, I'm really surprised during this qualifying. Tony's kind of down in the standings here. He practicing, he was right up near the top, but he's kind of off the board right now. Oh, nope, he's moved up to 7th. I'm sorry. I mean, this is Tony Klusterman's home track, so hopefully he'll do pretty well. And while I was watching the earlier practice, Jamie McKnight was really roaring around there pretty good. He was about 4th or 5th, but he's a little down on qualifying right now. But things can change. Fast laps and fast lapping and qualifying can be a different story than the race, can't they, Pete?
Yeah, they certainly can. Yeah, definitely. You've got to be there at the end, haven't you? Ultimately, in order to take points away from each race. Round here, it's whoa, a bit tasty. Around here, it's quite a challenge to stay on the track sometimes. Grip levels aren't great necessarily, especially on unworn tracks and on cold tyres. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight.
For sure. When they go down into Clayton turn, which is that downhill left-hander, talk about losing grip. If you're just an ounce too heavy on the gas pedal, you're off on the tire wall. I mean, that's a tough corner.
So where are we then? We are coming up to, we are at 8.5 minutes. No change in the top 5.
I don't know if you guys saw it before, but Mike T left a message, wanted to know if there were any kind of changes in the rules, and I left him a note, and I said, a rage quit will cost you 5 pounds.
Yeah, good man.
And we appear to have attracted some people from the officials into the V8ESC league, right?
Yes, we have. Yep,
Quite a number of them. There's some names very familiar to the Friday evening slot that we do for the strength of field.
Yeah, we got Ben Cullen, I see him.
Yeah, Kevin Honorato.
Marco Lewert.
Marco is in. We've had Henry Maikula for a while now. Adam Wright, he was also one that I think got attracted to it through the official races.
Oh, and Kevin Honor.
Whoa, Ben's getting a bit
good catch, Ben.
all over.
We see Ben with a destroyed car last night, so let's hope lightning strikes twice.
Yeah.
I like this comment on the chat. He said, I wanted to see if it would go faster with it lightened.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
With less on it, our way less.
Yeah, right, exactly. I see we got Kevin Honorato here, too.
Yeah. Nikolai's changed his paint again.
Yeah, are you seeing red roof and white sides?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
With
just
some
making
sort of red stripes down the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very shiny XVR car, isn't it? Oh, they're all in silver this time, are they? Right, okay.
I'm not sure about... can we have a look at Rich Warmingham?
This is kind of white. Chrome.
He's in the pits. That's a shame.
I think he's kind of chrome and red, if I remember right. And Steve LaValle's kind of red and tomato, or chrome and tomato color, kind of.
Right, so we are just finishing up qualifying at the moment. Not many cars left on track. Our top 5 is still the same.
Yep. Do you want me to run through, or are we going to wait for Michael Taliancic to cross the line?
Just wait for Mike. Yeah, that's it. He's done.
He's monged his car, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so your pole sitter will be Nicole Foggy, followed by teammate Johnny Brandon, then Michael Taliancic in 3rd, Marco Namela in 4th, Steve LaValle in 5th, Richard Allsop in 6th, Tony Klusterman, riding off a win last night, in 7th, Henry Maikula in 8th, Jamie McKnight in 9th, Wayne Sanderson will go 10th. And then in 11th, we have Rich Warmingham, Ant Woodward in 12th, Gary Croft in 13th. 14th will be Marco Lowett, Adam Wright in 15th, Lane O'Connor in 16th, Andrew Hoffman in 17th, Nikolai Bogatyrev in 18th, Michael Frost in 19th. 20th will be Ben Cullen, Jamie Jeffrey will be 21st, and Kevin Honorato will round out the field.
Excellent. Well done, Pete. So we will, we're just waiting for the qualifying session to tick over. And then will we be waiting on the cars to take their place on the grid?
Have you explained tonight's format, Clyde?
Not yet, but we will go through it as we go along.
Excellent. Sorry, what were you going to say, Bill?
Good to see Gary Croft here. He missed a couple races. I was hoping he wasn't having a backlash on the injury he had.
Well, the Racecraft boys are eager, aren't they?
Yep, first on the grid. So let's have a look at the current track conditions. And we are at 79 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's somewhere in the middle. It's not particularly cold. It's not red hot.
I think we call that comfy.
Yeah. They're still waiting on a couple of cars to take their place on the grid.
Yeah, one of them being your pole sitter, Nicole Foggy.
Yeah, I think that's Steve LaValle there in the background revving his car, and you can see it jiggling side to side.
I think Nicole's there now, I believe, or is that Johnny?
Nicole's on now. We're waiting for Jamie McKnight and Mike Frost at the moment.
Yeah, Mike has disconnected.
Ah, in that case, we're probably going to go green without him. Everybody else is
lights are coming on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are green.
Looks like a good launch from all the front three.
Yeah, looks clean so far. Oh, as I say
who's that? Marco's going sideways. Lane is going sideways.
I think Marco, Lane, Nikolai probably went sideways on their own. And I think that may have been Ant Woodward going round in the background. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, there's Adam Wright.
Yeah, I think it is Ant Woodward. He's dropped down to the bottom of the standings.
Okay, I think Michael Frost is... Oh, no, he's not back in yet.
No.
There we go, there's an overtake with a Racecraft car. Who's 31? Is that Richard? Yeah, Richard Allsop. Not quite got that done. Steve LaValle is away.
I'll tell you, through Moss Corner, that was pretty clean. I thought they were going to come together.
Yeah, Moss Corner's a bit lethal on this track, isn't it, Bill?
Yes, it is.
And we've got Rich Warmingham there crawling all over the back of Mike Gula.
Yeah, you got Tony Kloosterman's in a battle. Oh, I think everybody's in a battle.
Yeah, it's just a massive scrap, isn't it?
That's Tony trying to put one up the inside. Jamie McKnight is trying to follow his teammate through.
Yeah, it's holding Richard out wide there, which is a good tactic. That's what I was saying before about you need to put the other car off the racing line.
Yeah. Tony struggled there under brakes, didn't he, on the dirty side of the track.
You get out there pretty rough to hang on.
Yeah. He's doing it again now, though. He's got good traction out of that corner. He's on the wrong side of the. Yeah, he's on the wrong side there, and he had to give best.
I think actually it's Tony Klusman's birthday today, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That means that 6 cars need to get out of his way to give him his birthday present.
He quite a drive last night. Did a great job.
Certainly did.
So let's have we're calm for a minute. As soon as we say that, something will happen. But just for the viewers, we've got 2 races tonight. This one is a 30-minute sprint race, and everybody should have enough fuel to make it without pitting. We'll then have a reverse grid wheel.
Sorry.
Which will determine our starting order for race 2, and everybody that finishes this race on the lead lap is eligible for the reverse grid. The second race, after we've had a short break, is a 1-hour feature race, and the guys do not have, or should not have, I should say, because Mike Talianchich is in the field, but they shouldn't have enough fuel to do the whole race, and it should enforce a pit stop. But we shall see. Oh, there's a
Oh,
good there.
only gone round, isn't it?
Yeah, Tony, good turn.
Is that Henry, sorry, Mike Cooler.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see. It was just a big.
Oh, it's all going wrong here. That was Adam Wright's car going upside down, and there was
And Gary Croft as well.
Oh, that's a shame.
I'd like to see both of them again because Gary looked like
There we
he
go.
took third
Oh, no.
right.
Yeah.
I wonder if he had a net code there or something.
Yeah, possibly. So I'd like to see it again. The Tony one, yeah,
Only one, it's a shunt.
it was just a concertina effect,
Yes,
wasn't it?
it was. Yes, it was.
And then this.
What happened here?
Yeah,
So Gary just seemed to turn right.
he did, yeah.
Turned right into right.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if Adam touched him first, kind of gently on the side, and turned him. Pretty hard to tell.
Yeah, it wasn't very conclusive, was it? So,
No, not at all. So this is Tony Kloosterman in a very second-hand looking car going past Jamie. And then towards the front, Henry Makula still going.
yeah, still going. Minus his rear end of the car. So let's have a look what happened at the start. Keep your eye on Ant Woodward, because I'm sure it was Ant sideways in the background, but I'm not sure whether he was clipped.
Yeah, he cuts across.
He was.
He definitely
He
got
certainly
hit.
was by his teammate. That was blue on blue.
Oh, and then it whipped back on him. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Gary Croft hit him, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Gary.
You're right.
Yeah.
Eagle eye,
so-
Bill.
Yeah. So nothing Ant could have done about that, really.
Wayne's lost his bonnet somewhere in all of that. Wayne Sanderson.
I think that was possibly, I didn't see it, but possibly in the same shunt that took Tony out.
Yeah, well, he is
It
right
was
behind
just
Henry.
It was 5, 6, 7 cars all just sort of stopped and smashed into each other at the same time.
Yeah. Oh dear, that was a big wiggle from Henry's
Whoa.
car.
Yeah, he's going wide there.
Wayne's having that. No questions. He didn't knock, did he? He just opened the door and went
Yeah.
through.
Yeah, let me out of here.
Yeah. Good overtake, actually, really. He stayed very calm there.
Was excellent. Uh-oh.
Oh dear, that's wiggly from whoever that was. This is Mike
Well,
Taliancic.
that's Mike Taliancic taking Johnny Brandon.
Yeah, so what happened to Johnny? Lack of traction?
Yeah, we didn't really see it from far enough back, did we? Here we go, yeah. He looks like he's gone in a
Wheel
bit
off.
too hot there, hasn't he?
Yeah. Maybe a wheel off onto the sandy bit on the outside there.
Familiar with that section of track.
Yeah, that's a gift for Mike.
It is a gift for Mike. It's also a gift for Nicole Foggy, who's now got a 3-second gap-ish. This is all getting very tight.
Yeah, it's got Marco Namella interested as well, hasn't it?
It has. He's come right up on the back of these two now. And Steve's bringing Steve LaValle with him.
LaValle sure been pouring the coal to it.
Yeah. Stoking that engine.
I think Steve has just been sensible, if I'm honest. He's used Marco to drag him up there.
Yeah.
Yep, no doubt.
Good tactic. So I always love this track because it's an uphill straight that they've just been on, and then it leads into these big S's here. You can get all sorts of outer shape going through the left hand here. And then chop it back for the right. Some people like to use that right hand turn onto the start finish straight as an overtaking point, but you've got to be brave and highly skilled to do something like that.
That leaves us out.
And that's why
Well,
we're
yeah.
not driving. Just some shout outs to the people on the chat at the moment. Ronald Moons, good evening. Tom Stanley, good evening. And Tyler Newitt, good evening. Glad that you're here watching what's going on. And we are currently watching our current champion.
And race leader at the moment.
Yeah. Now, is Mike T? Ooh, is he drawing him in a touch?
Just a little bit, maybe. Yep. I think over the lap it's even.
Yeah. Foggy's lap was quicker last time round, so perhaps not. Perhaps that's just wishful thinking on our parts.
Right. He lines the window out and you see his elbow on the side of the door, then...
Yeah. Smoke in his hand. Sunroof open, aircon full blast. Well, at least we didn't jump the start tonight.
Well, there is that, yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that. I was just going to say, he certainly had a better start tonight than last night.
Yeah, last night he, for those that didn't see it, he speared off into the left-hand side, right off the line, really, wasn't it, Bill?
Yeah, very uncharacteristic for Nicole
Yeah.
Foggy.
So he's clearly trying to make amends for that tonight, and doing a great job of it so far.
Yeah, he certainly is.
Making a statement.
Yeah. So we are just coming up to a third of the way through, 10 minutes in. Quick rundown of your current top 10 is Nicole Foggy, Mike Taliancic, Johnny Brandon, Marco Nemela, Steve LaValle, Richard Alsop, Jamie McKnight, Rich Warmingham, Wayne Sanderson and Henry Makula.
And Andrew Hoffman's up to 11th. Good for him. He's picked up 6 spots. Excellent.
Yeah, it's a good drive from Andrew.
It is. I don't know what his car looks like at the moment. Hopefully it's still in one piece. Is that Ben Cullen spending off for Tony Kloosterman?
Yeah.
I mean, Tony's car's going to have all sorts of problems, isn't it? It's a bit beaten up at the back there.
Oh, the boot lid and spoiler gone. Looks like a rumble seat back there.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is damage limitation for Tony.
Yeah, he'll be back and fighting strong in the next race, right at the front.
Oh, look at Ben coming back at him.
Yeah, Ben wants a slice of that.
Whoa!
And you often find a lot of cars do that on that turn.
Yeah, excellent catch. Excellent.
There's a big pile of spares just at that bit.
Yeah, you're sort of wheeling it there, aren't you? Because you're thinking, actually, I've got a better run here, and then the back end goes.
And you're super confident coming out of the previous turn, going, I've got all the grip in the... Oh, no, I don't.
Yeah. So further down the field, we go on board with Nikolai. So Nikolai is chasing down Lame O'Connor,
Yeah,
who
Lame
in turn
and he,
is chasing Kevin Honorato, and that is Andrew Hoffman in front of all of them.
It is, and these two who we're riding with and Lame O'Connor in front, they were off track at the beginning, if you remember, so I think they're still trying to make time back from that.
According to Ronald, with our synced ooze, we sound like a boy band.
Oh, excellent. Hopefully we'll get their pay slips as well.
Yeah, I don't know what you want to be called. Old Spice, take this, have that.
I was going to ask Ronald how come he's not out here rubbing fenders with these guys. Too bad he doesn't have the time.
And if you notice, Johnny was all over Mike Taliancic at the start-finish line, and he's dropped off him a bit now.
Yeah, and Foggy he just done a lap half a second quicker there, so he's increasing that gap. You know, these two that we're watching on screen at the moment are veterans in this car. I mean that in the nicest way. You know,
sure.
Mike and his team at I think it's Pursuit Sim Racing. They do all of the major Australian series. He's also been a champion here with us, hasn't he, Pete? You can remember what season that was from the quiz, can't you?
Not at all, no. This is an outside overtake from Johnny Brandon, but Mike Taliancic has got a good grip coming out of there.
What a nice battle. Wow.
Yeah, side-by-side racing. Now, Mike's on the unfortunate side of this at the moment. He's going to have to get this.
Yeah, but the good thing with these two, and with them being veterans,
he
says if they just touch.
Marco Nemela nearly got caught up in the aftermath.
Commentator's cursing. I was just about to say that they will give each other plenty of room because they'll be worried about netcode.
But if you watch that, if that was, I'm not going to say a lesser driver, I'm going to say if it wasn't these two with their experience of this car, it'd have been more than a tiny little bump.
Sure.
Yeah, that would have been carnage.
It would, and it's hats off to the pair of them. I know there was contact there, and it's arguable who was to blame, but they held it. There was no dramas, just brilliant racing.
Absolutely.
So Wayne Sanderson continues to follow a sort of teammate in Rich Warmingham. They are in the same team overall, but running in different teams in this championship.
Oh, here we go. Nikolai on Liam O'Connor. He's going to have to go around the outside in the Estes.
Yeah, that's not going to be easy. There's not a lot of grip out there.
Nearly made it hold.
Yeah,
but
I thought he was just about to put a nose up the inside there, but no, it didn't happen. He's got a good run out there.
He did. He's come out. He's popped out a little early there, I think. But
yeah, and the trouble is, if you're not going to make an attempt at a pass, you've basically ruined your line for that corner. So it is Wayne is now having a go at Rich Warmingham. So it looks like whatever I say, then the opposite happens. So what do we want to happen? And I'll say the opposite.
I want the opposite of whatever you say. Good. I'm good with that.
Yeah, so Wayne gets the job done.
He certainly does. That's a good move. That.
And he's lighter forward.
Yeah. And is there any kind of format to these two XVR teams? Are all the good guys in one and all the not so good guys in another?
Nicole, Johnny, and Rich are one team. Lame, Wayne, and Steve LaValle are another team. And then we've got Tyler Newitt and Stephen Walker to come.
Right.
And Rich Warmingham has gotten back around Wayne again.
Yeah, good battle that.
Yeah, he works it out pretty well as well, doesn't he?
And that's brought Henry right back up onto them.
Henry's licking his chops back there. He's ready.
Yeah, come on, boys, move out of the way. There's a birthday boy back there.
These two are proper going at it.
Yeah, they are.
I wonder if the back of Tony's car's got "Happy Birthday, Love You, Henry" written on the back of his car now.
Henry's definitely interested in that battle. Again, another snippet of information just for people watching. So incident points, so for off tracks and crashes, the guys do lose one championship point for every incident they get, and when they reach 20 incident points in a race, they will get an automatic stop and go penalty. So sometimes you can see at some tracks where drivers have been door banging and everything else, and then all of a sudden they start driving nice and clean, and that could be because they're near the incident limit. Whoa!
Baby!
I thought he was going to spin on Tony then.
I did as well. And Tony's done the overtake where I said only the brave will go, which is in the last turn of the track, showing his bravery and skill through there.
So that puts Tony up into 13th place, and his next two victims at the moment are Kevin Honorato and Andrew Hoffman.
And how long's left?
We have about just over 12 minutes.
Right. Plenty of time for a Tony Kloosterman.
Yeah, and plenty of time for this battle to continue as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you should be getting a massive tow up this hill. Although the tow only kicks in about halfway up, I found.
Yeah, I've got Jamie Jeffrey in the pit, so I don't know whether he's had a crash, a technical problem, or... Well,
I didn't see anything come up. Oh.
I've just had a message from him. Think my gearbox just exploded.
Ah,
So possibly a dodgy downshift.
yeah, I would say so. I haven't had one of those for quite a long time actually, but this car is prone to it if you if you drop the gear into one where it's seriously high revs, the car just goes, no, not doing that, smoke everywhere, all done.
So Andrew Hoffman doing a good job at the moment of holding off Kevin Honorato. Tony is getting visibly bigger in the background.
I mean, I'm sorry, go on, Bill.
I was just going to say, I noticed Andrew Hoffman has decided to run a Mustang rather than a Holden this evening.
Sensible options for a better Vulcan.
Go ahead, Pete. Didn't mean to interrupt you, man.
No, it's alright. I was going to say that if Andrew Hoffman can finish in 11th, that'll be a mega result for him.
Absolutely.
Given the calibre of people in this field now, it's just...
Yeah, Jamie Jeffrey has used his fast repair and is back out on track.
Yeah, so for anybody viewing new, everyone gets one fast repair per race. A bit like getting in your spare car, I suppose. It'll instantly fix the damage that's on the vehicle. And you can go out racing again, but you only get the one. Anything after that, you have to sit and do all your enforced repairs, and then if you want to, you can sit and do the optionals. Optionals in this car, they do make a difference, don't they, Clyde? Because missing panels and missing spoilers, they're pretty integral to the stability of the car.
Yeah, it's again, you know, we say about it all the time. You can clout the wall and quite hard and carry on, and your car's perfect, or you can have a little brush with a barrier and you've got 20 minutes of repairs. It doesn't always make sense, but it is the same for everybody. You know, everybody's got that choice, and the beauty of it is, if you don't crash, you don't get the repairs.
Yes. And for all those people out there that are like me and you forget to turn your fast repair off, and then you pit the car on a pit stop and it uses your fast repair even though you didn't want it to, and then you crash later, that's really unlucky.
Yeah. So we are now a little over 2/3 of the way in. Current top 5 is Nicole Foggy, who's got quite a gap now over Johnny Brandon, then Mike Taliancic, Marco Namela, and Steve Lavelli.
Yeah, we need an answer from someone for Foggy in the next race. He's got what's that, an 8-second lead?
Yeah, well, the reverse grid wheel might be the answer.
Yep. Oh, who's that off? Is that Jamie?
Jamie Jeffrey. I think he was just getting out of the way, if I'm honest.
Yeah. No, good lad. Staying clear of it. And up the hill we go again. Jamie McKnight tracking down Rich Alsop.
He's been stuck behind him for most of the race. He's going to show him his nose, but I think that's all it was.
Yep,
just here I am.
Jamie McKnight's no stranger to this car.
No, the best looking driver in the series, so he tells me.
According to Jamie McKnight, yeah.
Whoa,
oh, Kevin. Oh.
Let's hope that's still drivable.
Yeah, those sideways swipes can often set your steering off completely.
Yeah, I was going to say that gifted a position to Tony, but it didn't really, because he'd chased them both down anyway.
Yeah.
So I think he would have got past them. Next victim for Tony is Andrew Hoffman. If Andrew is sensible, he will let Tony go. There's no need to fight him. Tony is quicker.
And he should just sit in his slipstream and get any benefit he can while he can.
So Nikolai after Lame O'Connor.
Yeah, and we know that Old Man O'Connor's been a different Lame O'Connor this season so far.
He has.
To the point where we thought that Johnny Brandon was driving the car, obviously. That's not true tonight. unless, like you were saying the other day, Mrs. Johnny Brandon's driving his car.
Yeah, or perhaps Mrs. Lame O'Connor is driving Lane's car.
Nikolai's really sizing him up now.
Yeah, he's having a look at every opportunity at the moment. Lane is a very difficult person to overtake. His car positioning is awesome.
I thought you were going to say it's because he just drives wild.
What's the old saying? You Brit shoes gets his elbows up or something?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, but not in a crappy way.
No.
He's very astute at just putting his car in the right places. As are a number of drivers in this series. We've seen Steve Lavallee do it before, and it's an art form on its own.
Tony's really gaining on Andrew.
Look
Wow.
at the gate he gets under braking. That's
unbelievable.
Crazy.
Wow.
He's going to get a lovely tow off the back of that Mustang now. Don't know whether Andrew's trying to break the tow or get out of his way. It's sometimes difficult to tell, isn't it? I think he's trying to race him though.
See, I think no boot lid on that is hurting Tony going down the straightaway.
Yeah.
There he goes. Whoop.
But he get, like Pete says, he's gaining it all under brakes.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, that was close.
But I don't think Tony will do anything stupid.
No.
He's battled his way back from that accident. He's up into 12th place, which is he's not really where he wants to be, but it's still half decent points for him from what it could have been.
Oh, here we go. What's happened
here? Well, this is the Brandon Talianchik's battle again. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It really is, because Johnny had a bit of a gap, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. And I'll tell you, Marco's not that far away either.
Yeah, I don't think Marco has got the pace on these two in this race anyway, but...
There we go.
Ooh. Yeah, Andrew's definitely fighting him.
He certainly is. He's done a good job, to be fair.
But yeah, I think Marco is just going to sit there and pick up any pieces that, if in case there's something unfortunate happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Andrew's going to have to do this around the outside now, hold his position. I don't think he's going to manage it. He's very wide there. He might get the drawback coming into this turn, holding the line. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. And Tony's caught it and carried on.
We're good.
And Andrew's lost a couple of places.
Yeah.
Bad.
Like you were saying, he probably should have let him go.
Could have let him go a couple of laps ago and come home in 12th.
Yeah. Oh, sideways from Rich Warmingham.
I think that's exactly what... again, I don't think Henry's got the speed because of that missing spoiler. But he's in that position that if those two teammates come together, there's a couple of easy positions for him.
Yeah, and if we're watching this right, Johnny Brandon's just checked out a little bit over
He has, hasn't he? Yeah.
Marco's now super interested in the back of Mike's car.
That way before too, Pete, until we changed the camera angle, he was right on top of Johnny again.
Yes, it's to and fro quite a lot right now, this bit.
Sorry, Back to the Future.
Yeah. And we can't have much of this race left. Must be only a couple of minutes.
No, we're just over 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
I think Nicole will be starting his penultimate lap next time round. Don't think we're going to get... Yeah, he's about halfway around the lap, so yeah. One more and then the white flag.
Well, Marco a bit sideways, that's not going to help traction coming out of the corner. And indeed he's lost a bit of ground there, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think it's the ears to get a good run, you know, and
Yeah.
cooked it a little bit.
Yeah, a bit overeager.
Yep.
The gap is just toing and throwing, isn't it, between these three?
For
Yep.
sure.
Is this Jamie again, is it?
This
Trying
is
to-
Jamie still trying to get past Richard Alsop.
They're very evenly matched, those two, aren't they?
They certainly
They
are.
are.
You get the feeling that if the cars were reversed, the situation would continue.
Yes, I would.
And Steve Lavallee is having almost a quiet drive in between two massive battles.
Yeah, he's not
trouble.
really had anybody pressuring him, has he, or been a pressure to anybody else?
No, he's kept a quiet race and he's going to score a bag full of points as a result.
He's comfortably in 5th.
Showing a little twitch there.
Why is Nikolai dropping on my screen?
Whoa.
I've got Nikolai in the pit lane. And now he's left the pits.
Right.
Yeah, looks
Flash
like
and dash.
like-
Possibly. Where is Foggy? Has he crossed the line?
Nearly.
Almost.
There he
There
comes.
is going to be one
There
more
he is.
lap. So this will be the white flag lap.
And maybe that's why Nikolai had to pit. Maybe he'd short fueled.
and Michael Taliantich is really pushing right now.
Yes, back again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
It must be frustrating for Johnny. He sort of slightly disappears and thinks, right, I've broke him now, that's it. And then 2 seconds later he looks back and he's right on him again.
Do you know what? I think this is on right now.
This
Oh,
is
baby,
definitely
look at
on.
that.
He's pushing him
he's
round the
pushing
corner.
him around
the corner.
Whoa.
Oh, Marco! Oh dear. That was a
Yeah.
landmine, wasn't it?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what happened there.
Go on. I need an explanation.
This is what I think. I think Mike T nudged Johnny Brandon out of the way, then
Yeah.
hit the brakes to let Johnny go past. In the meantime, Marco was there,
Right.
and we see what happens from then on. That's my take on it anyway.
Okay.
However, that has promoted Steve Lavallee up to
And-
third, Richard
and Richard
Alsop up to
Alsop.
fourth.
Richard Alsop's not going to take it lying down.
So
baby.
Nicole Foggy wins the race.
Good job.
We're going to have to stick with this because this is
Look at that.
hasty. I mean, Steve Lavallee, you'd think, has got the advantage. Maybe not. Maybe not. Look at
Going
that.
to get a good drive
Oh, he's got a
there.
good drive there, though.
Johnny Brandon second, Steve Lavallee third, Richard Alsop fourth, and Mike T in fifth.
Wow.
And then I can only assume about the rest of the places at the minute. Jamie McKnight in 6th, Mark Undermailer in 7th, Wayne Sanderson in 8th. Yep. Rich Warmingham in 9th, Henry Makula in 10th, Tony Klusterman in 11th. That was a good comeback. Lane O'Connor in 12th, Andrew Hoffman in 13th, 14th was Ben Cullen, Kevin Honorato in 15th, 16th is Nikolai Bogotyrev, and then 17th Marco Loert. And in the order of all the others, 18th Jamie Jeffrey, Adam Wright in 19th, Gary Croft in 20th, Ant Woodward in 21st, and 22nd Mike Frost.
So that was an exciting race to kick off the season. Pete, how can you sum that one up?
Well, that's a lot of energy expended all in one go, isn't it? That was door banging fun.
Yep.
The start was scrappy. The end was scrappy, but everything in the middle was absolutely brilliant. And Nicole Foggy, what's that? 13-second lead. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's well, we'll see what happens with the reverse grid, because as we said in our little pre-season podcast that we did, and also we've said tonight, there are so many drivers in this series that can win. So it's not going to be easy for Johnny to get through, Johnny or Nicole, to come through if we get a big reverse.
No, and it sets Michael Taliancic a little bit further ahead in the next race, and Tony Klusterman a lot further ahead in the next race.
Yeah, it could play into Tony's hands.
Yep. And for the benefit of the viewers, with the reverse grids, if you don't finish on lead lap, you're not considered in the reverse. Is that still true, Clyde?
That is true. So spam. I'm really making it up now. Spam is going to give it a sin for us.
You're funny tonight, Clyde.
It's great, isn't it? And that's without a drink.
And it's going to be a full -1.
It's a full -1. So full would be Nikolai Bogotyrev, but unfortunately he dips out. That will put Kevin Honorato on pole.
Wow.
It certainly will, and Ben Cullen will join him on the front row.
So I will go away and sort out the next race and let you guys chat rubbish or whatever you do.
We bring genius to this exchange. That's what we do. So, Bill, what's the standout moments for you in that race?
Well, I can't pick anyone, to be honest with you. It was to be honest, for the first official race of season 9, it was a barn burner. I'll tell you, it was a lot of action going on from the front to the back, and we love it every minute of that kind of stuff. It was great.
It was certainly non-stop action. You expect that from the sprint races, though, don't you? And I suppose it would have been nice to see that battle with Mike T, Johnny, and Marco Namela go right to the end. But wasn't to be, was it? They got a bit tangled up.
No, it unfortunately, when the heat, when the chips are down, you're on that last lap. It's really easy to make a little tiny mistake like that. I mean, you got to get by somehow, and you try to plug 3 cars into a spot where 2 can just barely get through. Something's going to happen, and to be honest, it really didn't really affect too much. I mean, it hurt Mike T a little bit, but the results were pretty close to what they might have been anyway. So it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, Steve Lavallee got a bit of a leg up the ladder, though, didn't he? He managed to, effectively take a couple of positions. So he'd have passed Marco, Mike Taliancic, and Richard Alsop, probably on the last lap, in order to get into third because of all the shenanigans that were going on at the beginning of that lap. So he's had a real leg up the ladder there.
Yeah, he was pretty smart. He ran, by himself there for a little bit. We were kind of commenting before that he was in no man's land, and then, when he saw that, I'm sure he was drooling. And perfect opportunity to slip through and get a few more positions. Good on him.
Yeah, and it sets him up quite well for the league overall, because we've seen in previous years, not in recent ones, but in previous ones, sometimes the winners or the runner-up are the ones that sit in that third and fourth slot all season. And just score regular points over and over again. They don't win. Sometimes they're not even in the top 3, but they certainly gain those points routinely through the season and end up with a great score at the end as a result. For sure. And, he's right on the cusp of fighting with the guys up front. I mean, he's not that far away, as we well know. So, expect Steve to be in the hunt this year. And what's your opinion on Mosport and a reverse grid, Bill?
Like you gentlemen mentioned before, I think it's going to be a little trickier getting through here. I mean, there's a couple spots, that you can pick up some time if you're really fast. I'm sure to get up to mid-pack shouldn't be too tough for the really good guys, but after that, it's going to be a struggle. They're going to have to work for it. Fortunately, it's a 60-minute race? Is it 60?
It is, yes.
Yep.
Okay, they have the time to catch, and of course, they have, if they play the undercut or whatever correctly, and they can get a few positions that way, they may be in good shape. But it's not going to be a cakewalk.
No, and there'll also be people throwing themselves off the track as well, which it tends to help sometimes.
Yeah, and if we see stuff like, well, we saw Andrew Hoffman rightly fighting for position with Tony Kloosterman just now. Sometimes those battles in reverse grids can end in a lot of tears. I always find that the starts to be, as a spectator, utterly terrifying.
Yeah.
Because you think he's not going very fast, and everybody behind him will be, and you think he's going to get mobbed at any moment.
For sure.
It's just one of those cringe-worthy. I mean, people must do it when they watch me racing with even normal people, not the likes of Foggy and Tony. Must think, so he's put the handbrake on, hasn't he? Or he's throwing the anchor out the back window. He needs to take that in before he can race.
I think the big thing, I'll put this nicely, being a slower driver and getting a very good position from a reverse grid, you're always in that that strange mind frame, twist or stick. Do I go, right, I've got this opportunity, I'm up the front, I'm going to make the most of it, or do you do what I believe is the sensible thing? And it's difficult on the first couple of laps, but once the race starts to unfold, pick your battles. I've had some good results for me by going, oh, who's that behind me? Oh, it's Foggy. Right, I'll let him go. Who's that behind me? Oh, that's Tony. I'll let him go. Who's that behind me? Hoffman. Right, you're having it, mate. do you know what I mean? I do. Just being sensible. We see in that last race, we called it before it happened, and I'm not picking on Andrew here, but Andrew should have seen the amount of time that Tony took out of him and gone, do you know what? He's a lot faster than me. I'm not going to risk an accident. I'm in 11th at the moment. If I let Tony go, I'm going to finish 12th. If I have an accident with Tony, I'm going to finish a lot further down.
Yeah, and
he didn't, and it happened.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people who just want to race everybody, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as you can do.
No, it's a hard instinct. When you're racing. You're not letting people past. It's not what you're there for. But when you look at overall results and end of season championships, all those points that you drop by fighting people that you shouldn't really be fighting count.
Oh, absolutely. And I was going to say that whenever I've been on a reverse grid, or in the very rare occasion that there have been people so terrible that I've actually put my car on pole, I always feel like I'm being hunted. And that everybody behind me has spears and sticks, and they're after me. And I don't know how you get over that bit. It's the nervousness of leading away, isn't it? And everything that you've got to very shortly throw away, especially if you're me. And I don't know, that overriding feeling seems to just stick. Sometimes it benefits you because you're on uber alert for everything, and I do really well, and sometimes I really don't.
I think the other thing about it as well is because you've got quick drivers behind you. You've got one eye looking forwards, one eye looking at your mirror, one eye looking at your relative. So you're not 100% focused on what's in front of you. And that can lead to some, we've seen people take off in the lead who's normally a 12th or 13th place runner, and 3 corners round the track, they're off into the wall because they're worried about what's going on behind them.
Yeah. And what you're saying is right. You can get away, and when you're not paying, what you should do is pay attention to the track, your own line, stay on the racing line. That's what you're told. But then you've got people who are faster than you going, get out of my way, get off the racing line. You're like, no, I need to stay right here. You need to go round me. not the other way around.
Yeah, and just to confirm what we're saying, we've got Ben Cullen has just put a comment on the chat because he's on pole and his nerves can't handle it. So, you know, it does. It gets in your head. It certainly does.
He needs to get. Oh, he is in the session. I thought he wasn't in the session for a minute. It's funny.
Yeah, we see that, didn't we, with something else? Somebody was it at Media Day last week? Somebody got a pole position, didn't they? And, it was Andrew Hoffman, wasn't it?
It was
and missed the start of the race.
Yeah. That'd be me, and it'd be my only life opportunity.
So let's have a look. There's no point. We're in a practice session. I was going to have a look at the track temperature, but let's not worry about that yet.
So you're so nervous when you're on the pole like that you miss it because you're in a can. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Well, even if you're not, and I find you're holding onto your steering wheel and you've got your pedals under your feet. I stare at those lights so much, my eyeballs dry out because I don't want to miss the lights changing. That's just ridiculous.
And don't you think in the back of your mind, especially when you're slow like me, you're always worried you don't want to be that guy that causes the real mess up, you know?
No,
that's always in your mind.
I do it so often I don't care anymore.
Come on, you do not.
Just seen Tony Klisterman practicing his pit entry, which is critical, isn't it?
It certainly is, because this is a 60-minute race and there should be a pit stop.
We say should because of the presence of Michael Taliancic.
I was just going to say, are we sure that Michael T has to practice his pit entry? No. I doubt it.
He's got a solar-powered car, hasn't he? So,
well, I don't know.
But your pit stop, depending on the track, obviously. You know, some pit lanes are easier than others, but they can, with close racing like we get here, with not a lot of a gap between drivers, you can win or lose 3 or 4 positions just by having a good or bad pit stop.
Yep, absolutely.
We expect everybody will take tyres because of the way that this car eats the tyres. You may find somebody tries it, but it depends again on how much fuel you're taking, because the fuel and the tyres happen at the same time with these cars. So if you're going to take, normally it's around, anything around the 8-gallon plus mark, you're not going to lose any time taking tyres.
No. And we're a couple of cars down this time as well, aren't we? So no Mike Frost at the minute.
Yeah, well, Mike didn't start the last race.
No, he didn't. He's obviously thought better of it. We're missing somebody else, I think, because we've only got 20 cars showing, and I think we're going to grid now.
We are. So do you want to run us through the grid, Pete?
Yeah, so on pole will be Kevin Honorato. Cropping himself in second will be Ben Cullen. We'll have to keep a good camera on his car, see what he does. Third will be Andrew Hoffman. Fourth will be Lane O'Connor. Tony Klusterman in fifth. He'll be right to the front pretty quick, I hope and expect. Henry Mikula in sixth. Rich Warmingham in seventh. Wayne Sanderson eighth. Ninth will be Marco Nomela. 10th will be Jamie McKnight. 11th will be Michael Solar-Powered Car Taliancic. 12th will be Richard Allsop. Steve Lavallee off 13th. Johnny Brandon off 14th. 15th will be Nicole Foggy. Then Nikolai Bogotyrev, Marco Lowert, Adam Wright, Gary Croft and Ant Woodward.
Excellent. Well done, Pete. Just as the lights start to come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Longer pause this time. We're off.
Yeah, we are. There's a bit of wheel
spin from Ben.
There we go. Kevin Honorato is
good
away.
Start from Kevin.
Yeah.
Ben had a terrible start and then I think has decided to...
Whoa, Kevin's
and
gone.
there we go. Kevin's off.
There's a Simability car back there somewhere. And this is
Klusterman.
Was it?
It was Klusterman, I'm sure. That had a Canadian flag on the wing.
Yeah, Tony and Rich Warmingham.
Right. Well, you can think of better birthday presents, but...
Wow.
That's something synonymous with. Oh,
Whoa!
Another one of those concertinas.
Yep, and the same car involved. That's Henry Macula again. Wow, this is busy this time.
Calm down, boys.
Yeah,
Long way to go.
59 minutes of this. It's spread out all across that back straight there.
It's pretty hard for the first lap, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
There's a good Taliancic and McKnight battle going on.
How do you know there's so much happening? Oh, there's an overtake going on there. I can see that's a racecraft car getting underneath an XVR. Can't see from this distance who that is. It's Steve. No, Steve Lavalle's behind them, so that must be Nicole and Richard Allsop.
I've got Andrew Hoffman in the lead.
Hey, Vulcan car in the lead. Get off down the road, Andrew.
Oh, come on, let's milk it. Let's milk it.
Yep, keep the camera on it. Sponsors are required here. This is a good battle, actually, with it between him and Wayne. And Wayne,
Looks like Wayne got by him.
yeah, I think that was a sensible option there for Andrew going into Foster Corner.
Yeah,
Yep.
Lame's up next, though.
Yeah. That's a whole load of cars piling through.
Look at that.
And that's who? Henry McCullough soldiering along in fourth. Yep.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, this is like the M25 in rush hour. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's a big
What
crash.
happened there?
That.
Wow.
Wow.
Steve Lavalle, Richard Allsop.
My goodness.
Something bad happened. We're watching Marco Lowett at the minute, but I think he was a spectator.
Yeah, they were already.
Here we go. Oh, he's
yeah.
even caught him.
It's barely touched him trying to go around the other side.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
The bad judgment there on car size from Steve. Hopefully they can both get back into it. I think Steve reset his car.
Yeah, Steve's towed to the pits, I think.
Yeah. Look at that. Johnny Brandon. Oh, is that Nicole sideways? Sorry.
Johnny and Nicole are right close together there.
They are.
Behind Marco Numella, who's right behind Michael Taliancic.
Yeah.
Taliancic, sorry.
So Andrew Hoffman still running second. Wayne Sanderson in the lead.
Yeah. Liam O'Connor still stuck behind Andrew. And these guys are trying to sort themselves out now. Who's next on their scalp list?
Jamie McKnight looking inside. Nope, didn't get past Lane that time.
No, and these guys are going to want to get past, well, Lane and Andrew at this point, aren't they?
Yeah, I think Jamie McKnight's in a good position here if he can get past Lane.
Yeah.
You know, he should have the pace on Andrew Hoffman.
Well, Andrew's turning good laps at the minute.
He is turning
He
good
really
laps,
is.
yeah. Wayne is a different kettle of fish, isn't he?
Yeah.
Wayne will just be trying. He'll be thinking that maybe Andrew and Lane are both corks in the bottle here, and he'll just be trying to.
Whoa! Nikolai's off in the back.
Nikolai in the background.
I didn't even see that, so well done, guys.
Looked like it was all on his own, unless he had help.
I don't know, it looked like he got turned.
Oh, look at this.
But it was at a distance, yeah.
So Lane has got past Andrew. Looks like Jamie's going to get the job done as well.
It's like they're all going to a Black Friday sale, isn't it? They're all like piling on the road.
The M4, right?
Yeah. So that's hang on. Andrew Hoffman's now behind Lane and Jamie McKnight. So I think there was a bit of something going on there.
Did you just fall asleep for 30 seconds?
I think so, yeah. These things happen to me. I think it's whatever I was doing as a teenager.
Was you having one of Bill's nana naps?
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, don't borrow those.
Oh, Lane, no.
What happened to Lane? We need to know what happened to Lane. We need to know what happened to Nikolai.
He's just overcooked it on his own.
Yeah. out
too
on
bad.
that ice-like grass.
Yeah.
Ricochet off the
Oh,
wall.
dear.
Same
lost his
thing
on
from
his own.
Nikolai.
Yeah. Love to say I'd never done both of those two things.
Yeah,
Andrew
sorry guys,
missed-
I won't spend too much time on these ones, but battle raging
No, no,
all
it's
over the
fine.
place.
Oh, dear.
Oh,
Oh,
Whoa.
Andrew!
Oh,
wow! He went on his head.
On this occasion, I don't think that was necessarily Andrew's fault.
No, I don't either. Michael Talianich just got run into too.
Yeah. Oh, here we go again. No,
come on, guys, this is silly.
no. Yeah, this is. I didn't know I was going to a demolition derby today.
Wow.
It's an hour-long race. We're 6 minutes in. We don't have nobody running at this rate.
Yeah.
I think they choose the wrong game. Wreckfest is not this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
You don't get points for hitting each other. It works the other way.
I think the stewards are going to be busy after this one.
I know, yeah. Who are the stewards?
Not as this time.
Top secret.
Top secret.
The bot, right?
So, when it calms down, maybe we can have a look back at...
Oh my goodness.
The many episodes of Carnage.
so
Right, here's one
what's
of
this
them.
one?
This is the Andrew Hoffman one. Well, it's not Andrew Hoffman, it's, I think that's Michael Taliancic and Marco Lower. No, not Marco Lower. Marco Namela.
Yeah, I
think
find that one hard to...
Well, Mike Taliancic seemed to go over that curve
He
and his
hit the
car
curve.
stopped.
Yeah, bounced out, didn't he?
Yeah, and that caught Andrew out, and Andrew was a passenger after that.
Yeah,
There was
that-
nothing he was doing.
I think Andrew.
somebody just went... I think it was Henry, wasn't it? Went
Yeah,
into
yeah,
the back
Henry-
of Andrew.
I was going to say that. Yep. I think Henry Rakula got back in the back of Andrew when he was kind of, out of sorts there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then we had the Lane O'Connor one.
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, goodness.
That was the back end of that one where
Yeah.
Michael Taliancic had to spin his car. That's a bit late in that one. Need a bit further back from there. Jamie McKnight, I think, managed to get away reasonably scot-free with that one.
Somebody sideswiped Andrew. Lane into the back of who was that? Henry McCullough. Looked like Marco Leward hit.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was a lot going on in that one, weren't there?
yeah, you can't pick the bones out of that. So, back to some sort of racing. Michael Taliancic hunting down Kevin Honorato. He's dived to the inside for the S's, and he's closed that deal. I don't think Kevin Honorato's been in this race because he's not got anything wrong with his car.
Probably sat in the pits and waited for all this to happen. Now he's out.
Well, he has been in
Wouldn't
because
it?
he started from pole and went off track.
Ah,
Oh,
right.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he was off at turn one, of course, wasn't he? There's Andrew
So
going
that's-
back out of the pits with a brand new car. Good to see.
Good man, Andrew.
Oh no.
What?
And he's stopped and quit. He's gone. And Lane O'Connor has also quit the session.
Yep, he's gone too.
Well, if we wanted a race with excitement, we've certainly got that so far.
All in a matter of 6 minutes. Wow. Sounds like somebody's getting their ticket punched.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Just getting a few questions on Discord at the
Yeah.
moment.
Jamie
trying to avoid World War III.
Right, okay. Yeah, that's
Clyde's
sometimes
trying
happens.
Yeah, sorry, Clyde's trying to make like he's a real businessman. Really business.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Right, we have got all sorts going on here. This is Michael Taliancic
That's
going around the
Woodward.
side at turn 1 of Ant Woodward, and then, well, almost brake checking him, it looked like, but he was just getting back onto the racing line.
That's a good overtake.
It is a brilliant overtake.
I'm just going to keep an eye on the gap between Wayne and Jamie.
Right.
Jamie is now being tracked by Johnny and Nicole.
Oh, he is. They've managed to get through this relatively unscathed, haven't they?
Yeah.
The two XVR drivers. We've got Richard Alsop here.
Yeah, that's on Marco Lewertz.
It is. And he's made it stick. And in the background we have Ant Woodward. Yeah, Ant Woodward getting chased down by Kevin Honorato. And Ben Cullen in the background, ready to mop up a bit. Nikolai appears to be in the pits, although I've been wrong about these things before.
Yeah, I'm seeing Nikolai in the pits.
I'm gonna guess that this is far too early to be pitting.
Oh, it's got to be, hasn't it? Surely.
Oh, and Nikolai has quit the session.
Let me see if I've got any inside information. I don't think so, but worth a try. No.
Kevin's getting ever closer to the back of Ant's car. Oh, that wheel spin won't help him going up the hill though. And,
However, we will
picture.
know when the pit stop window opens.
Yeah, because Marco Namela will be right in there. Yeah.
It's like Ben Collins putting the move on
Kevin, yeah.
Toronto.
Oh, he's
Oh.
Did they touch?
pushed
No,
him out
they-
onto the slippy stuff.
Wreck that
yeah.
paint again.
I know.
Yeah.
So good evening to Carlos on the chat.
Keep your
Keep
distance.
your distance, Marco.
That's good, I like it. Oh, that's a shunt.
There you go.
That
Big
was a
shunt.
definite shunt.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, oof. That might be reasonably terminal.
Yeah. That's
Both
gonna
ends of
be
the car.
a reset to the pits.
Yeah.
Michael
Good night.
T. love tap there.
Sorry?
Love tap from Michael T.
Yeah, it was quite a. That was more than a a kiss, that wasn't it? It was more of a headbutt.
I wonder if he wasn't expecting him to break that earlier or something. That was really strange.
Maybe.
I think that is one of the tricky aspects for the faster drivers because they brake so much later. You know, they need to be anticipating a slower driver braking earlier.
Yeah, and
Otherwise, you get accidents like that.
yeah, and it's no fault of the person braking early. Absolutely not. It had to be the person who's going faster and overtaking to do so safely.
Yeah, I've said this from day one. I've took some stick for it, but I stick with it. When there is an accident like that, 99.9% of the time it is the car behind's fault.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep. I would follow that statement in every time.
And not to side with Michael T, but of course, internet connection from Australia to here changes your time too. Net code.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think there was any net code in that one though, mate,
No,
to be honest.
but he was still at Yep.
Oof.
Wow, whoa!
Whoa, what's a mistake
Johnny.
from Johnny Brandon?
Yeah.
Let's put Nicole in front of him.
It has. I think Jamie's about to get XVR'd because they've caught him now.
Yeah, and he's not really making inroads on Wayne.
No.
You know, we've seen in the past Wayne out in clear air with nobody hassling him. He can just pump in the steady laps.
Yeah, and what we've got this time round is we had Steve Lavallee last time, like not sneaking through, that's wrong, keeping away from all the action. And I think this time it's Marco Namela. I think Marco is managing to stealth his way through. He's on. Oh, he's had some action though, hasn't he? Look.
I think he was caught in one of those two big ones that we see.
I see. Right. Okay.
Because he was in front of Nicole and Johnny, or Johnny and Nicole as it was then.
He was. Yep. Definitely.
Sound like a nice couple, don't they? So here's our leader, Wayne Sanderson. Currently got about a 4-second lead over Jamie McKnight.
And do we still? Oh, sorry, Bill.
Actually, he's got a bonnet on his car this time too.
Yeah.
Looks good with the bonnet on.
Might be slowing him down.
Maybe. Sorry, Pete. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, do they score points still for leading laps?
They certainly do. We've got Adam Wright going off track right round the outside.
No.
Marco lower. How unlucky can you get?
Yeah, he just got battered by a car.
Yeah, but he just got battered, went in the pits, got his new car, came out of the pits, got battered again.
Oh, you're joking.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, that's an unlucky Mr. Lowett, it has to be said. Oh,
So, yeah, well, that battle's been going on for a while, and they keep swapping places, these two.
Yeah. Let's hope they're having fun.
Hope it stays friendly.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay.
When the fun stops.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Back end of Jamie's car looks a little bit wiggly.
Yeah,
Bit
this
loose.
is.
Yeah.
He's got a little message on the back of his car as well.
What does it say? Keep away
I
XBR or
couldn't see
something?
it.
Wait for Nicole to get a bit closer. If this is boring, I'm not going to be happy.
Racing
Against.
again. Oh no, it's all right.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's one of the sponsors.
It is, yeah.
It just happened to be in that same position
Wow.
as keep your distance, Marco.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they didn't.
Yeah, so Marco Lewert's had enough. He's give up for the evening.
Yeah, he has. Was that a little nudge from Nicole? I think it was, because his
Looks like it just a
front of
little
his
bit.
car's now caved in.
In case Jamie didn't know, he gave him a little warning there.
Yeah. You can't see the shiny car behind you.
Jamie's doing a really good job against him, I'll tell you.
He is. They're going to mob him now, though. He was good on the brakes there, though, wasn't he?
But
Kept it just enough in front. Really good driving from Jamie McKnight there.
very
Tony
good.
Tony Kluseman's creeping his way back up again. He's just broke into the top 10.
It's good to know. Ant Woodward's moved a long way forward, hasn't he? Because he wasn't even in the selection for the reverse grid, so he must have been right at the back.
Yeah, it shows what keeping out of trouble can do.
Yes, exactly that.
Ant Woodward's moved ahead 12 spots.
12, wow. I think most of those were in bits of wrecks that he
A
overtook.
few of those, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, are they close? Wow.
Yeah, brilliant driving though.
Absolutely. Foggy looking inside. Oh, baby.
Yeah. I don't think Jamie's fighting that one.
Nope, he didn't.
He tried for a couple of laps, or more than a couple of laps, and don't know whether he's decided his tyres have had enough now, or he's going to wait for a pit stop, or chances hand on the Nemela effect.
Are we on the pit window yet, Clyde? I think we are, aren't we?
Well, Mike Taliancic has pitted.
Did he?
So I would say yes.
Okay.
And just on the chat, Nikolai's rig broke, so he had to retire. Evening to Stacey, cheering on Ant Woodward.
Evening, Stacey.
Hi, Stacey.
Marco Luer has joined us on the chat. Probably the unluckiest driver from this
In the
evening.
world, in the world.
For sure.
I've seen various things get hit into people's faces, but never the rear end of a V8 before.
That's for sure. Leave a mark, I'll tell you.
Yeah, a little bit of a scratch to buff out in the morning.
I think he just blinked Johnny Brandon by. I'll bet he's
He
going
did.
to pit.
He did.
I'll bet Jamie's going in the pits this time.
No, I think he's just
Oh,
playing.
Johnny's just disappeared.
He did. And Johnny has had a connection issue before, hasn't he? I think Jamie's waiting it out.
It's the centre.
No, I know.
Marco Nemela's in.
Right, that's the signal for everybody to pit. And if they don't, then it's their own fault. We know
That Jamie
that now.
McKnight thing there was
Here we go.
exactly what we said before the race started about picking your battles.
Yes.
Jamie knows he hasn't got the pace of Nicole and Johnny tonight. There is no point fighting them and dropping back into the clutches of Richard Alsop.
Definitely not.
I believe that's Gary Croft in the pits right now.
And Woodward's in the pits. Gary
I'm sorry.
Croft is still running.
Couldn't
This
see
will
the
be-
number.
Be interesting to see if everybody else piles into the pits now to cover off Marco Nemela.
Wayne Sanderson still marching along in first place with his whole car intact.
And is he picking up a point per lap he leads?
Yeah, but only up to a maximum of 3.
Oh, right, in that case, he's not necessarily going to need to stay out leading the race right now.
Bet it feels good though. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Good for the sponsors.
And I think, to be fair, the gap he's got over the ones that have picked straight away, they're not really worrying him.
No.
If I was Wayne, I would keep running now until I see either Nicole or Johnny go in.
Yeah, that would be sensible.
He knows he's got speed over Jamie McKnight, but Foggy and Brandon are the ones he needs to watch out for. So, Who did we have in then? Kevin Honorato, Tony Kloosterman, and Ben Cullen.
Yeah, there's a whole troop of them in there at the moment.
Yeah, Richard Allsop is also in.
Here comes, is that Steve LaValle or Rich Warmingham, I believe.
Yeah, Rich Warmingham is in.
You got to be careful on the entrance to this pit lane as well. It's easy to speed into it.
That's a tricky in lane there.
It is, yeah.
Kind of reminds me of Watkins Glen off the last corner. Terrible trying to get in there sometimes.
Watkins Glen I usually pick when I don't want to. Because I get loose off of that last corner and end up in the pit lane.
I'll pit now then, shall I?
Yeah, really. Since I'm here.
I wants to pit. Fair enough, I'll pit.
Yeah. There we go. A repaired Ben Cullen.
Yeah, he's having a good race tonight.
He is. And a repaired Tony Kloosterman.
Still getting used to the car, yeah. So Tony should have some I was going to say some space, some pace now. Is that Henry in front of him? It is, isn't it? Yeah.
How old's Tony Kloosterman? 190?
192, I think,
192,
today.
right,
Yeah.
okay.
So Adam Wright pits from 5th.
His family will have to phone the fire brigade before they light all those candles. you know, warn them.
I don't think Rome is burning.
I believe he's got birthday soup for dinner because obviously he's not that good at chewing anymore.
Well, he could have like a Sunday dinner, but it'd have to be blended up.
Right, so Kloosterman, Makula, Honorato, all three have pitted.
Yeah. Tony looks fighty now, doesn't he?
He certainly does. Nose up the inside there. He's going to force Henry out wide. Job done.
Yep. Perfect Mosport overtake. And of course, Tony will know this track literally like the back of his hand. Does he live near to that? Does anybody know?
I think he's about, I'm not sure, Chris Jackson would know. I think he's about 40, 45 minutes away, something like that, I believe.
Right, that's not far.
Yeah.
So top four still haven't pitted.
Wow. Good.
And what sort of times are we seeing from Marco Namela compared to them?
So Marco's last lap was a 17. Sorry, no, it wasn't. Marco's last lap was a 19. So I don't quite know what happened there. Quickest driver at the moment that's pitted is Richard Alsop. He's in the 17s, whereas the leaders are all in the 18s.
So it might take a couple of laps for the tyres to really kick in if you've changed them, and most people will, right?
I can't see anybody not taking them unless they live in a padded cell.
Yeah. And they don't need a spotter because it's the voices in their minds that are telling them what's going on here.
It's like Steve LaValle had a 117 too, 117.77.
He's handy around here, isn't he?
Yeah, about the same as Richard Alsop.
He's only back there because he got involved in a load of incidents at the beginning.
Yeah.
So, is that Kevin defending, or is he giving up against Tony?
I think he's giving that one up.
Yeah.
Again, sensible. He's not racing Tony. Tony's a different class.
So, for the benefit of the viewers, Clyde, have we got two championships to be racing for this time?
No, we haven't. We are all in the Racetech Cup this time round. So we've got our Racetech Cup, which is our main championship. We've got our teams championship. We've got our Fred Bingham Forever Forward Award. We've got our Safe Driver Award. Johnny Brandon is in the pits.
Ah. So he's the first of the four to blink.
Yeah. Now, if I was Wayne, I would come in now.
You've got to cover that, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny's the one that claims he uses the most gas too, I believe.
There we go. So he's oh, who's that? That's Marco Namela passing.
So is Namela? No, he's not going to get past.
Johnny Brandon is out of the pits now. Just came out.
Yeah.
And Marco Namela's back down the road a ways, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's quite a gap actually, isn't it?
Mike Talianich, according to the screen, doesn't look too far back of him.
No, he's not.
Oh, there goes Nicole. He's entering pit lane now.
Yep. Wayne continues.
Yeah.
Does your little black book tell you how long a full tank runs for, Clyde?
No.
Ah. It's not very good, that black book today, is it?
No, rubbish, mate. Absolute rubbish.
It's on vacation.
My insiders have let me down.
Are they now outsiders?
They are, yeah. I'm going to have words.
Okay.
So, what is Wayne's plan? he doesn't pit this time round, I think he's going to have to run it dry.
Yeah, that would make sense because then you're travelling with the least amount of weight in the car, aren't you? I mean, his lap time, 1:18.68. That's pretty good.
Yeah, there's a multi-21 there with Ant and Tony.
Yeah, without a doubt. I don't think Ant's been in the pits yet, has he? Or has he been in for repairs and come out and done it again?
Yeah, the only two that haven't pitted are Wayne and Jamie at the moment.
Right.
All right, Wayne's coming in now. He's in
Yeah,
the pits.
I do think that's 2 laps too late, if I'm honest. That was neither one decision or the other. That was just a in the middle.
Yep.
So that leaves Jamie McKnight in the lead.
Foggy looks like he's on a real mission here.
Boy, you're not kidding.
He was absolutely tanking it through that first part of the exit.
Flat out, baby.
And this is probably why.
So this
Wayne's
is Wayne coming
exiting
out.
now. Gonna be close.
It is going to be side by side, I think.
No,
Very
Nicole's
close.
got that.
Nicole's got it.
Oh,
Look at that.
he has as well. I hate
Wow.
it when Clyde's right. I absolutely it makes me. I did a little bit of sick in my own mouth.
Told you, 2 laps too late.
Yep.
Little regurge, huh, Pete?
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
It's not good, is it? You know.
It's bitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the kind of bitter you get at the pub either.
No, that's a shame. Pubs.
However-
I liked them when we had them.
However, he is still in front of Johnny Brandon. Jamie
very much
McKnight has just pitted. He's our last one to pit.
So he gets his point for leading a lap.
I don't think he's going to get out before Foggy.
No, definitely
No. He'd need
not. I think he'll come out in about 4th.
Yep.
that'll be an Olympic pit crew you're talking about there, Bill. If he was to get out there. Yeah.
Okay, Foggy coming to the front straight stretch now.
I did watch the Formula One last weekend, and I wasn't terribly excited by it. I just don't find it interesting anymore. But I watched one of the pit stops, and I'm pretty sure the car didn't stop, but 4 tyres fell off it and 4 tyres got on it, and it just carried on moving. It was so fast. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, so as predicted, Jamie comes out in 4th.
He's right again.
I
Good
think
prediction.
at this.
Good prediction there, Clyde.
So we are just over halfway in this feature race, round 2. So Foggy's in the 17s. Johnny Brandon is in the 17s.
Yep. We won't know what Wayne's doing until next lap goes round. Is that Kevin Honorato's car, Ant Woodward?
Yeah, and the pit stops have separated him from Ben Cullen.
Yes.
We've got Gary Croft there in the middle, but I have a feeling Gary's going to have to pit again.
Yeah, he pitted very early, didn't he?
Yeah, with damage, didn't he?
Yeah. He was the one that ended up in that massive pile-up with Lane O'Connor, I think.
Yeah. So Wayne's in the 17s.
Kevin Honorado is running a respectable 10th position right now also.
Yep. He's doing really well.
Yes, he does.
Very tentative, aren't they, going round here?
Like skate.
A lot of wiggling of that steering wheel, that's for sure. Never understood the steering wheel wiggle. There's a few people do it and a few people don't. Oh, a lock up there from Ant Woodward.
He's probably just doing it for the TV.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Likes a little smoke, huh? Yeah. Like he's going fast.
See, Ant had a good launch out of Mosport, didn't he? And Kevin
did.
really didn't. But then Kevin's got him on the brakes twice through there. Good line to take through there from Kevin as well. Oh, that's a bit...
Hey.
Turning left to turn right. Held it well though.
So Johnny Brandon is now going to try and chase down Wayne Sanderson. They've just done identical laps with 118 dead. Foggy is the only one still in the 17s.
Jamie McKnight's hanging on in fourth.
Yeah, Mike T and Marco Namela still going at it.
There they are. Wow.
The back of Kevin's car looks a bit wild, but I still think overall he's got a bit more grip than Ant at the moment.
It seems to, yeah. He's not losing any time.
And unfortunately, you know, the more you wag the tail, the quicker you use up them rear tyres.
Yeah, and you lose a lot of time when you wheel spin out of corners as well, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, so what we got here, we've got Adam Wright, Steve LaValle chasing down Ben Cullen.
Yeah.
Steve LaValle seriously out of position.
Yeah, he was in all sorts of bother at the beginning, wasn't he?
I think everybody was.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, big lock-up. Everything closed up on him there, and he's now got to do it all again.
Yeah, I think he was thinking that here's the opening. Whoops, up, it isn't there.
Yeah, door shut very quickly on him. At least he didn't get hit in the face by the back end of a V8 like Marco.
Yeah, and I think luckily, you know, as long as you don't loop it or damage your car, when you have got the pace over the car in front, something like that doesn't affect you too much, because a lap and a half later, you're back on them again. Let's see if we can stay with Steve for a lap.
Yeah, so this is the corner where everybody washed out on the first lap, and it's easily done. This one you do in about third gear. Probably don't turn left to do it. I'd be turning right most of the way through there. This one you can do flat out after a while. Depends on your grip levels, obviously. And then careful through Moss Hairpin. It's a good line.
You hear those tires trying to grab on.
Yeah. They were screeching in protest, weren't they?
Oh, goodness.
And then you fire it up the hill here out of Moss Corner. Get as much slipstream as you can. Stay to the right if you can, especially if you're defending the line. And then you end up on the left-hand side of the track for the S's. Took it in early on that one. You can take quite a lot of curve there as long as you're carrying the right level of speed. Steve's doing a better job through here right now. And then cut this one close, try not to hit that curve because it does destabilise the car and make you spin, and then finish the lap. I never like turn one here, and I always feel like if I go any faster, which I should do, it's dangerous, so I end up going through it slow and just embarrassingly, you know, a bit retarded.
It's a tough corner to judge, I think, Pete, really.
Yeah.
I don't like this one, that downhill, boy.
Oh, Kevin.
Yeah, I was just going to say something's happened to Kevin because he's dropped behind Gary and Ben.
See, that'll put heat in your tyres. Handy 3-point turn to get back onto the track. Stays safe though.
Yes, he did. Good job.
I think that's his second excursion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's going to give us the Cullen Honorato battle again.
Yeah.
And these four could quite easily close up.
I would think so, because these are still, if you work it that way, in kind of reverse order, aren't they? As you'd expect to see them on a track.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's not an unfair thing to say.
Although I don't know much about Ben, he's possibly got a lot more talent than, well, A, than I have, and B, that I know about, so...
Yeah, well, Adam, well, yeah, you know, we've catalogued Steve before and his rise up the rankings. Adam joined us at the back end of last season and is starting to get to grips with the car. Kevin obviously joined us through the officials that we've been doing. And is another one slowly getting to grips with the car. And Ben appeared out of nowhere, to be honest, and he's very, very new to the car, so he's on that steep learning curve at the moment.
Yeah.
But the only way you learn is to get your car on track, keep it on track, and do laps.
Yep.
If you're sat in the pits, you're not gaining any experience or any knowledge.
No, you're not, and that's probably where I struggle. I've got the most experienced pit crew in the whole of iRacing.
You know, I'll tell you, when you have a seasoned veteran and probably, I don't want to say alien, but damn close to it, Nicole Foggy tell you that this car is difficult, you know it's difficult.
Absolutely right. You know, he drives it around here, like I was saying before, the window down, one arm on the ledge.
Yeah, exactly.
The tab as he's going.
Kevin.
I know, yeah. Adam Wright's going to get that one done, maybe. Don't carry too much into there, Adam. Oh. As a bead of sweat forms on Adam's brow as he headed towards the outside of turn one.
He was about as wide as he possibly could get then.
Yeah.
Now Steve's going to look to get it done as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, he wanted a piece of Adam a few laps ago into Moss Hairpin, didn't he? And he's not managed to do that. And now he's got Kevin. He's got a good line here, though, tucked into that slipstream. He's diving to the correct side of the road, the right side, in order to get his line into the S's here. That's one down.
Job done. So, almost 45 minutes in.
Yeah, Kevin did a nice job on the exchange too. He didn't lie down. He made it a little bit difficult, but he didn't cause a problem.
No, it was good driving, very good driving. Mike Taliancic still tracking.
Mike and Nico show still goes on.
Yeah. Eminem.
Like it. Can the real Lame O'Connor please stand up?
I don't think he can.
Not without his frame.
No. Or his helper.
So Adam Wright now going to put the move on Ben Cullen. He's going to have to go the long way round. I think he's got it done.
He has.
Where?
You're going to do your embarrassing round the outside quote again?
No.
Good.
I'm just wondering why Kevin Honorato seems to have dropped so far off the back of this battle.
Oh yeah, he was there.
He's not in picture.
Here we go. Sam's found it. Oh, it's a wheel off. Oh, it's a
Yeah.
car off. Oh, he's doing the spin. Oh, no, he's
Oh,
not.
he saved it that time. Well done, Sam.
Well done, Kevin, for
Well, Mike is
doing the Canadian
proper
flick.
putting pressure on Marco now.
He is.
That looked like a nudge.
Is that a bump and run? Oh, dear. Damage has appeared on Michael Tadyancic's car, as if by magic. He's very squirrely.
It almost looked like a Marco Numella payback there.
Yeah. I don't know if there was contact, but it did look. I don't know.
I'd like to see that again. As they enter the
on board from Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, after this one, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Here goes Steve around the outside of Ben. You gotta have ultimate faith in one another doing things like this. Ben's not gonna let that go. He's doing a good job actually, isn't he?
Yeah, good job,
yeah.
Ben.
Yeah, Steve's got the drive out of that corner though.
Yeah.
Well done, Ben, though, really.
Right,
Here we go.
Yeah, I think there might have been.
Not. It's very inconclusive there. That one's a bit more. Oh. there's your damage, Mike.
Looked like a self-sealing door panel or something. What the heck?
Yeah, I'm not sure that was retaliation. I think he just washed out.
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
It did look like it, you're right.
Yeah. Nah, it's just competitiveness.
No, that was okay.
Yeah.
That's my evil mind working again.
Yeah.
Clyde knows how us colonists are, right, Mike? Mike, yeah. Clyde.
He's even getting my name right now.
I'm catching the Pete Bingham disease.
Yeah, you are. Next thing you know, you'll be crashing your car.
Well, I always do that, Pete.
So Sam's reading my mind. I was just about to say Johnny is now on the back of Wayne. And
He was about to say it because I pointed on the stream, yeah.
Did you?
He was about to point it because I show it on camera.
Oh, no, to be honest, I wasn't even looking. I was reading a message from Andrew Hoffman.
Yeah. Don't know how I'm supposed to take this one.
How are we getting on with that search for a new cameraman, Pete?
It's not going well.
So Johnny's got 10 minutes to get this done. So there is no need, and Johnny's not like that anyway, but no need to do anything silly. These guys are teammates, although in slightly different versions of the team. We don't very rarely see blue on blue from XVR, but it's not totally unknown.
Is that in the pits?
That's Gary Croft.
Okay.
We thought he would have to pit again.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be picky, but Canadian Tire Motorsport, whatever Mosport I'll call it, they should change their pylon up front. It says American Le Mans Series. That's been out of business about 3 or 4 years.
This is iRacing we're talking about, Bill.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So Pete's tapping away on his keyboard now.
No, I was clicking my mouse.
That sounded clunky.
It's just a posh mouse. So Johnny Brandon is fully on the back of Wayne Sanderson now.
Yeah, I don't expect Wayne to move out of the way.
No, neither do I.
These two are both good racers. They've both got good pace. And there's no reason for Wayne to get out of the way. Unless it's a team order, but I don't see that happening either.
That's not going to happen.
That's Gary Croft. Is it Gary Croft getting out of the way?
Yes, it is. And there we go.
That was a bit easier than I thought it was going to be, if I'm honest.
Me too.
Yeah.
So Gary, having to make that pit, has promoted Ben Cullen, Kevin Honorato and Henry Makula up a place. Adam Wright has done well. He's left Steve LaValle behind.
He has. He's dropped him well, actually, hasn't he? Got nearly 2 seconds on him now.
Tony Kloosterman currently sits 8th.
And he's not eating into the Richard Allsop gap that much, I don't think.
No, and you know, we talk about the class of the field. You look at the 7 drivers in front of Tony.
Yeah.
And they are the 7 drivers that can win races without a doubt.
Yeah, all of them. And Tony.
Yes. So as the tyres wear out, the pace is slowing.
Mm-hmm.
Most of your top ones are still in the 18s, but we've got a few doing 19s. And obviously the race distance, or the length of the race has changed from last season. So our features were, I think, 45 minutes. So these guys are going an extra 15 minutes in the feature race, so they're earning their points this season.
And I think the commentary is superior to last year also.
Oh, yeah. So not really any super close battles on track at the moment, apart from, I think, Jamie McKnight is clawing in Wayne Sanderson. That could be a battle. Possibly a little bit too far away, maybe.
Yeah, never say never, but it is a big gap.
There's only 6 minutes left, so... And that gap may have come down with the...
Overtake on the...
Yeah.
2 laps ago, yeah. 4 seconds back at the moment. Michael Taliancic 3 seconds back from Jamie. I don't think that's going to be achieved either. Although Marco Nemela, I think, is relatively close to Michael Taliancic again, or slash still.
Well, you know, the American Hall of Fame baseball player, one of them, had a saying, "It ain't over till it's over." It is very true.
Yep, anything can happen in 6 minutes.
For
or
sure.
5 as it is now.
You can even run out of fuel on the last corner.
Well, I bet that's haunted Nicole Foggy for the last week, month or so.
I would think so, yeah. I'll have to see if there's any splash and dash action at the end of the race, or towards the end of the race.
Yeah, I'm not sure there will be. Well, you don't know whether drivers have made the right fuel calculations, but the drivers that pitted early for damage. Unfortunately, apart from Gary Croft, they're all out, and we've seen Gary come in and do his second stop. So it's basically who can use a calculator.
Yep.
Yeah, that little incident sadly put Gary Croft down a lap too. Too bad.
Okay, Nikolai Bogotyrev has just realised that the races are longer and admitted that he ran out of fuel twice in the sprint race.
I thought it looked a bit suspicious.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't know about the this one, obviously, but the sprint race was a bit suspicious.
Yeah, this one's a broken rig, so
Yeah.
they'll let him off with this one. So what have we got? Just over 3 minutes. Nicole Foggy has a 6.5 second lead over Johnny Brandon. Wayne Sanderson currently third, Jamie McKnight fourth, Mike Taliancic in fifth, Marco Namella sixth, Richard Alsop seventh, Tony Kloosterman eighth, and Woodward ninth, and Adam Wright rounds out your top 10.
And beyond that, we have Steve Lavallee in 11th, Ben Cullen in 12th, Kevin Honorato in 13th, Henry Mikula in 14th, Gary Croft in 15th, and then after that, everybody I think is out. Is that right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Rich Warmingham's been in the pits for 100 years, and then we've got Marco Lowert, Nikolai Bogotyrev, Andrew Hoffman, and Liam O'Connor.
So this is Foggy coming round to lap 13th place, Kevin Honorato. So Kevin shouldn't run out of fuel.
Yeah.
See, Foggy needs to lap himself.
Then he won't run out of fuel.
fuel.
Hey, there you go, solution. Just need to change the laws of physics and we'll all be fine.
So I think that is Foggy starting his second from last lap.
So we need a late charge from Johnny Brandon to bridge the 5 and
Kevin Honorato. Yes, Kevin Honorato and Henry Mikula are now together all of a sudden.
And this is for 13th place, and places make points and points make theoretical prizes. He's got a lot of overspeed going up the hill there. Pops out the slipstream on the side that gets you the the overtake done when you go into the start-finish straight. It needs to stay left and force the issue going into the left-hander here.
Yeah, you really need a bumper, don't you, up the inside there to stop the car in front taking the usual turning point.
Yeah, and he didn't manage it that time round, but he's going to have another couple of goes at this, is he? Or one more after this?
Kevin went a little wide that time. That's close.
Are we last lap now,
This
Clyde?
is the final lap, yes.
Right, yep.
Nicole Foggy is just in front of this battle.
Oh, easy, Kevin. Don't overdrive it.
I think Nicole's just reached round the back of the passenger seat to put the A to Z back and put the flask away as he gets ready to do some celebrations. He's had his cup of tea now.
Henry McCool is doing an excellent job. Wow, he's really hounding him.
He is. He needs
Yeah.
this slipstream here. This is
Kevin's
his
getting
last
good
chance.
drive. He's getting really good drive out of the corners.
He's a little bit far away right now. Looks like he's picking up a little bit.
Yeah, you don't get the slipstream until halfway up that straight. And it was more evident there. Oh,
Look at that.
that's
Wow.
opportunistic and it's very wide. Yeah.
Well, hey, you gotta try
Okay,
it. You never
Foggy's
know.
about to cross the line.
Yes.
So, double victory for Nicole Foggy.
Nicole Foggy, yay!
Kevin
And
Honorato
Kevin Honorato
holds him
held
off.
on.
Johnny Brandon
job.
comes across the line, flashing his lights. Wayne Sanderson in third. Jamie McKnight comes home fourth.
Good performance by Jamie McKnight.
Mike Taliancic crosses the line fifth. Marco Namela finishes sixth. Richard Alsop seventh. Where is Tony Kloosterman? Tony Kloosterman eighth. There's Ant Woodward coming home in a great position. Ninth. Adam Wright in 10th. Steve LaValle 11th. Last to finish will be Ben Cullen in 12th. Kevin Honorato we've already seen in 13th. Henry Makula in 14th. Gary Croft in 15th. And the rest didn't finish. So, guys, we see an imperious drive there again from Nicole Foggy. We see some big crashes, which I expect there will be protests from, with drivers racing like it was a 6-minute dash for the cash. But, you know, as we usually say, the cream came to the top. And I'd just like to say it's still nice to be talking at the end of a broadcast for once.
Yeah, nice change.
Yeah, really.
So, Pete, you know, what are your thoughts on what we've seen tonight?
I'd like to think that all the crashing was just this is the first races of the season. These two, and everybody will calm down. We've seen it before, and it generally sorts itself out by the second round of races. This track lends itself to those sort of crashes and many off tracks and sliding off at random corners. Nicole Foggy, somebody needs to answer the Nicole Foggy question, because you're right, he had two imperious victories there. One basically from the back of the field, managed to dodge all the chaos and mayhem, and get himself a second victory out of two races, so 100% success for that. A very exciting race. It'd be nice to see a bigger field next time round, back to what we were having previously. A great start to the season, and a very entertaining race.
Indeed. Bill, before we start our interviews, did that bring you everything that you wished for?
Well, Pete mentioned a couple things. There would have been nice to have more cars, but with what we had, it was an excellent show. Nicole Foggy is just amazing. He's a hard man to bet against winning. Good to have Johnny Brandon back. He did a good job as well. Felt sorry for Tony Kloosterman on his birthday. He didn't get very many breaks, but still, he's going to get some points today. Not too bad. It was nice to have Michael T around today. Jamie McKnight had a heck of a drive today. And it was good to see some of the guys from the Friday night, Ben Cullen, Kevin Honorato, and Marco Luert. And who's the other one I'm missing? Well, anyway, if I missed you, I'm sorry. But it's good to have all those guys here, and I hope they stay for the rest of the season. And it was a lot of fun. Could have been worse, that's for sure. And it's good to have a good season going again, a new season going again.
Yeah, certainly good to be back. Right, Pete, we'll start you off with our double race winner, Nicole Foggy. But he can't talk because he's muted. There you go.
Good evening, Nicole Foggy, our double race victor. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling not bad. I think there was some dodgy stuff in the second race, which it was going to be. There was a few good side by sides and all that, but I think a bit of netcode. Somebody went flying at one point.
Yeah, there was a couple of incidents of upside down cars in that one. Your new paint scheme's good, isn't it? It makes you win races, gets you from the back to the front, and stops you actually getting involved in any crashes. So you're going to continue with that paint job, aren't you?
Indeed. Yeah, I think we thought it was time for a wee change up, especially with the second team. We can now have 2 different paints, which is good.
Yeah, I was completely confused for the last 3 seasons. So, in all seriousness, who is there out there that can knock you off the top spot?
No one. Nah, I'm joking.
Good answer.
Good answer. Brilliant egomaniac.
Probably true.
No, I'd say who we got. Well, unfortunately, we're not got George this season. I think he's focusing on some GT, but I think he's going to be back next season. So he would have been one. Taliancic was fast. I think he got an unlucky netcode thing in the second race. Marco, I know Marco and Richard Alsop, they've just... I think they're getting back into it again, and Marco hasn't been racing. So definitely those two. I think, it's just getting back into the car again. It does take a wee while. Wayne's coming up. He had amazing pace in the in that second stint of that second race. He had really good pace. He was basically same pace as me for the first sort of 10 laps or more. So great job by him. We'll see what happens.
Well, that was certainly a convincing victory. Is there anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go and pop some champagne corks somewhere?
I just realised I forgot to mention Johnny as well.
We're not bothered about him.
Yeah, we're going to cut that bit out.
Yeah, definitely. That's not going on the broadcast. Sam, cut that bit off.
Johnny who?
Yeah.
Just thanks to XBR, Virtual Racing Association, Simortal, and you guys for the broadcast and for hosting the new season.
Thank you very much. Our double race victor, Nicole Foggy.
Thanks very much. See you soon.
Flushed.
Okay, so next up we have got our second place finisher in the feature race, Johnny Brandon. Welcome to the booth.
Hello.
So the first obvious question is, it's nice for you to still be in the championship after 2 rounds.
That's right.
And have you got anything for Nicole?
Yeah, because I was making mistakes everywhere there. So, the same as last night, just making mistakes. Just little mistakes everywhere, like literally nearly every lap. So, I'm quite optimistic. As you know, I've been away. Before that, I had some internet problems. So I haven't really been on for about a month. And I've been on this week, obviously, just a couple of hours every night. Well, about 3 nights. And I'm getting back into it, but I'm making a lot of mistakes. Just really small mistakes. You can't do that if you want to compete with someone like Nicole.
Well, Pete posed the question to Nicole, is there anybody that can stop you? Nicole's answer was no. Then he ran through a few drivers that, he is a bit worried about. And you wasn't on his list.
Good. He won't see it coming then, will he? It's always the best way to attack.
And the other thing,
I'll
obviously,
be in the chat going, no, don't worry, we're teammates. I won't go for it. Boom.
Yeah. We really liked your new livery.
Thank you very much.
Is that another Steve job?
It's Steve does. I come up with the ideas, and Steve does the magic to make them appear on the car.
Excellent.
So I do the designs and suggest the things, and he makes it actually happen because there's no way in a million years I could do that. So it's a bit of teamwork, as is everything with us. But yeah, glad you like them. I think they look great, and it helps differentiate between the teams. for you. Stop you moaning again like last season.
Well, we always find something to moan about with paints. Just back to the racing. As we joked at the start of the interview, you had a hell of a start to last season. I think it's Tony's birthday today, and he's had a meeting to forget. But you must be over the moon with your points haul from tonight, even though you didn't get a win.
Yeah. Like I say, I don't feel like I'm ready at all at the moment for the car, and really pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed the race last night and tonight. Like I said, there's lots of little mistakes, so I know I've got a lot of improvement, a room for improvement, which is good. Doing it's another thing, obviously, but I've never made as many mistakes as I'm making. I don't normally make the amount of mistakes in a race as I'm making in 2 laps at the moment, and it's every 2 laps. So all you got, just missing the line a little bit, having to go down an extra gear, overshooting. I mean, I don't know if you see it in race 1 tonight with Mike. I went off at the double right twice, nearly 3 times. And they're quite big mistakes. I'm doing just missing apexes everywhere, and having little moments in the car and locking up a little bit where I shouldn't be, and it all has quite a big effect in this car.
Well, we'll say what we said at the start of last season, but for totally different reasons this time. It can only get better.
Well, yeah, it did actually go quite well, so I don't want to sound too pessimistic. It was good, and Foggy's in a different league, So
we know what he's like. Yeah,
he's
we'll find a way to slow him down. Don't worry. We'll get some voodoo going and some commentators cursing. And
his luck's got to run out soon. It just, I'll start talking to him at the start, and maybe he'll do one of his famous jump starts.
Yeah, and we've got a
new handbrake for Christmas.
We've got a quick question on the chat for you from Nikolai Bogatyrev. Why has Johnny chosen 57 as his car number?
I've chosen 57 as my car number as the
age.
Tribute. No, it's quite.
Is it Clyde like you?
It might be. It's I lost a friend due to COVID, and his brother and I are really good mates as well, and that was their race number when we all used to race together. That was his race number, 57. So I've a little personal tribute. I'm going to run 57 for the season.
Yeah, nice touch. Touch. So, any shout outs you want to make before we let you go, Johnny?
Just you guys, thanks for the broadcast. All my teammates, except Foggy, obviously.
I wouldn't even call him a teammate anymore if I was you.
He's borderline at the moment.
He's just somebody in the same team.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's great. We all love each other. That's what it's all part of. You've each got to have your targets. He just hasn't really got one, but he is doing some other stuff in the future that's going to give him some targets, which you'll probably see fairly soon. So it's all working pretty well for everybody. Virtual Racing Association, as always, and Simortal. Thanks very much, guys.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us in the booth, Johnny, as usual, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks very much. Good night, guys.
Okay, Pete. So next up for you is our 3rd place runner, Wayne Sanderson.
He can't talk at the minute.
He can't talk. He's muted. Okay, let's drop Wayne and let's get Marco Namela in.
Who is also muted.
Muted also.
Okay, so nobody wants to talk to us.
Clearly not. Oh, here we go.
Oh, there we go.
Marco Namela. Eventually, welcome to the booth. Please don't swear, you are live. Good race in the second one to a point. 6th place was your final position, and you made your way there from about halfway through the field. Tell us about that race. It was mayhem, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got stacked on lap 1, turn 2, and I wasn't driving well, at all, so I didn't do enough practice either, so yeah, this was pretty good result for the amount of practice I did. So I think I had 55 laps of practice before the practice session started. So
Yeah, and you had a good tussle with Mike Taliancic throughout the second half of that last race. Have you raced with Michael Taliancic previously?
I think couple races, yeah. But I have watched these previous broadcasts and stuff like that, so I know the guy. So
Yeah, he's a very talented driver, and you were well up there with him. So the Nemela effect didn't take effect tonight, did it? You still you pitted early and didn't benefit as much around Mosport as we've seen previously. Do you think it's just not a track for that, or is that down to lack of practice, or just the speed of your competitors?
yeah, I think I was like 7 to 8 tenths off pace, anyways. So in race pace. So I think that's also, and also I made a mistake on my, I think it was my second lap with the fresh tires. I went off on the most hairpin thing.
Right, I think everybody went off on at some point on that last race. And do you think you've got the pace over this season to challenge Nicole Foggy? He's currently going to be our lead racer. Have you got what it takes to compete for the victory?
I think so. I think I just need to put more practice in, and I think the leg endurance is fine now, so I can't blame the leg for not driving well. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank? Because you done remarkably well for the first 2 rounds of the season.
You guys, Racetech, my team, RKE, and Richard.
Excellent stuff. Thank you very much for an entertaining night, Marco Nemela.
Thank you.
Okay, let's try one more time with Wayne Sanderson. And unfortunately, yeah, Wayne is.
Oh, he's
still...
on. He's on.
Oh, no, he's there.
Welcome,
he's
Wayne.
there.
Welcome to the booth. We've got you finally.
Thank you. I had to program a button. Sorry about that.
No, that's all right. And so, 3rd place in the second race. That was chaos, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Got quite lucky at the start. Made a few places up pretty quickly, and I think I avoided most of the carnage in that second race.
Yeah, you were like Moses. It all happened around you, and you dashed through and were leading the race for quite a long time. Then the pit stops kind of happened, and those pesky silver cars. But were you not tempted? Just a little nudge here and a little nudge there, especially on that Johnny Brandon fella.
Yeah, absolutely tempted, but I think it would have been a career-limiting move, to be honest with you.
He can only be angry for so long. Do you
not
think...
Johnny. No, Johnny can be angry and miserable for years.
In that case, I stand corrected. Do you think you've got what it takes to depose Mr. Foggy from winning all the races this season?
No, not really. I'm just very happy with the podium in that second race. To be honest with you, that was my season goal, to get a podium. So I sort of need to reset the goal on that one.
Yeah, you need to put the bar further up, son. So, any standout moments for you in that race? I mean, finishing third's got to be one of them. Leading the race has got to be another. But were there any particular moves or experiences that you learned from, or anything like that?
Well, in race 2, it was really Jamie trying to keep the gap to him. He was who I was racing, really. So when Nicole and Johnny came up, didn't want to lose too much time with either of those guys. So that was good fight, because there was constant pressure from Jamie. The first race was a bit of a strange one for me. I had some contact because someone checked up in front of me. So I sort of gave that place back. That was a bit of a low light, really, of the weekend. But overall, I'm pretty happy.
Well, that's good. And anybody you'd like to have a shout out to, or anybody you'd like to thank?
Pete,
Sorry, go on, Bill.
Let me ask Wayne a quick question. Wayne, we had a question when the second race was on. the last couple races before that, we watched you racing, and it seemed like your car was missing a bonnet the whole time. This time, the bonnet was on. Did it go better with the bonnet on or off? We got to know that.
It didn't really seem to make much difference to me. In fact, I didn't even know it was off in the first one until I saw the replay.
Okay, thanks for the honest answer. Appreciate it.
That's good. Good question. So yeah, anybody you would like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, obviously you guys, Backfire for the broadcast, Racetech, the series sponsors, the XVR team, obviously Simsport, and the Virtual Racing Association. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much, Wayne Sanderson.
Excellent. So, interviews concluded. I think, as I said before, to sum up those two races, we had a bit of everything. I think the sprint race, which is normally the more calamitous of the two races, was fairly clean. And then the feature race, that is normally the cleanest of the two races, was fairly calamitous. Finished off for me with a 9.7 roll by Andrew Hoffman. But, we've got the same people up the top, minus Tony Kloosterman, who has had a birthday afternoon to remember so far. So let's hope the family can make up for Tony's disappointment in racing. Although, to be fair, I think he came back and scored the maximum points he could under the circumstances. Nicole Foggy, 2 wins, and interesting to hear Johnny Brandon say he's a bit out of practice and there's more to come. So that could be a very interesting battle between them. I think, as Bill said, nice to see Mike T. Let's hope he does a lot more rounds. And some great driving from, Wayne Sanderson especially, and Jamie McKnight was up there. Ant Woodward had a great result in the second race, as did Adam Wright and Ben Cullen. So, again, we say it every week, but those races had everything, Pete.
They had everything and a little too much of one thing, and that was crashing. It'll be good to see. Where are we at next? I do forget.
Twin Ring Motegi on the 1st of August.
That's my next request for less crashing out the window, then, isn't it? Because that is a slippy track and it's a twisty track. Let's hope that all the eagerness of the season, they've got it out of their system here at Mosport. It's a shame that Tony wasn't higher up. He was one of the more unfortunate people tonight. There was some good driving, some great driving, and there was also some questionable driving. So we have to address those things as a league for the next rounds, and I'm sure we will, because we've done it before. But a very exciting night. Battles all over the place, and the intrigue over the pit stops and how effective they'd be continues, and it'll continue all season. It's going to be an exciting league, and we need to have as many of these guys in here, creating the drama and the excitement that we're seeing right now all the way through. So, it'd be good to see the likes of Michael Talyancic staying in and bringing some friends with him. Why not?
Bill, sum up the race from your point of view.
Well, you guys have pretty much covered all of it. All I can say is it's great to have another season started. Big thanks to Racetech for supporting us again this year. I felt a little bit like the other two, a little sorry for Tony Kloosterman's evening, but he had a good race last night, so he shouldn't be crying too hard, I'll tell you. But anyway, it was good racing all around. The endurance race, just like you guys mentioned, was a little bit, what should I say, cheeky in the beginning, I guess. But let's hope we got it out of our system. It seems like we say that every year, doesn't it? But anyway, hopefully things will improve. Hopefully we get a little bigger grid turnout. And I'll tell you, I'm ready for the rest of the season and looking forward to it. I think it was a great night. And as Pete said, a lot of good battles. So, and some new guys from the Friday night, which is nice to see. So looking forward to 2 weeks from now.
And Sam, obviously you got your super duper graphics up and running, and everything happy from your end?
Yeah, pretty exciting race, both. I don't want more people. There's already too many things to follow on tracks. I can keep up with the cameras. So, guys, please, no more. Or you will have to pick your battle. That's not gonna work. No, that was pretty amazing. If we get more people, that could be very great for the league, for the series, and for us as broadcaster. I think more things to show. Yeah, I think that's the thing.
Excellent. So, I'd like to thank Bill, Pete, and Sam for joining me tonight. Racetech for sponsoring the series. To all our viewers that follow the series, and to all of our drivers, old and new, for being in the series. We are back on Wednesday night with the BSTV GT4 TCR Challenge. We will then be back on Friday with the iRacing official V8 Supercar Race European Strength of Field Friday night fun. And we are back with this series in 2 weeks' time on the 1st of August from Twin Ring Motegi for rounds 3 and 4. So, without further ado, I shall say good night. Let the guys say good night, and we'll close the broadcast.
Yeah, good night, everybody. Hope you were fully entertained by tonight.
All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. Hope we get to shout out to you again soon.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.